Okay, three divers here, but I'm going to talk about the one in the middle, which of course is the new Seiko SPB453, the newest edition of the 62 MAS inspired divers from Seiko. Talk a little bit about first impressions and philosophy of choice. Why did I purchase this watch? And I'll let you guys know right now, this is the first Seiko that I have bought at retail and the very first Seiko that I've pre-ordered. So it just came from Japan a couple of days ago, and I've had it on wrist for a couple of days. Now, you'll notice that there are two other 300-meter divers here for size comparison, and I'll talk to you a little bit why I think this is such a spectacular watch. This is my only other ISO 300-meter diver from Seiko, which is the Seiko SPBN453 Tuna on a Jubilee from Strap Code, because I am a crazy person and I just think it's fun to rock this Tuna on a Jubilee with a Hawaiian shirt. It feels deliciously 80s. Now, look at that size difference though. Seiko re-engineered this watch to have 300-meter ISO certified rating, and just look at how thin it is compared to this other 300-meter Seiko. Look at how compact it is. That's pretty awesome. And that is part of the reason why I ended up pre-ordering this watch, and I knew I had to have it. I had the Seiko SPB147, the Cappuccino Moss, and when I saw that they announced that these were coming out, I sold it right away because I figured that that watch would become obsolete once this watch came out. About that, I'm at the beach here and people are landscaping, so I had to pause the video and let this guy go by on a lawnmower. But anyway, I mean, if we could look at the size comparison between these two watches, it's pretty amazing that they're both 300-meter ISO certified divers. In fact, the only 300-meter ISO certified diver that I think is smaller than this is the Certina DS Action Diver 38mm, which is a little bit too small for my wrist, actually. And then, of course, I've got one of my favorite 300-meter divers, the Omega SMP 300 in blue. Again, size comparison, I won't list any stats, but you can see that the Seiko is much thinner than the Omega. Sorry, I've been watching too much Urban Gentry. And much more compact. Initial thoughts, loom is fantastic. Hand loom is a little bit better than the loom on the indices. I love this anodized aluminum bezel insert. These are actually recessed. I went with black. Black's a little boring, but I don't currently have a black face diver in my collection because I've been all over the place. So I wanted something a little bit traditional and boring. Although the limited edition one, I think the SPB 451 and 452 have a little bit more color if you're into that. Drilled lugs, wonderful polishing and beveling there. I've got my hand grease all over it, and I'm at the beach, so I've got suntan lotion on me. But it's really not a boring watch, and whoa, I kind of get Black Bay Monochrome vibes from this watch. The bracelet is great. It's only got 2 micro adjustment holes, which is the worst part about this bracelet. But because these links are tiny enough, it is pretty easy to get a good adjustment on it. I really only need those 2 holes of adjustment personally when I'm wearing this watch. I pop it out when I go to sleep because my wrist swells up when I sleep, and I sleep with my watches on. And then I tighten it up during the day. But I would get, if Long Island Watch came out with an aftermarket Jubilee bracelet for this, similar to this, I would put this on a Jubilee and satisfy some of those Black Bay Monochrome cravings. And I wouldn't have seen a picture of this and thought of the Black Bay Monochrome, but holding it in person after trying on the Black Bay Monochrome, the sizing, the proportions, and some of the bling aspect here, it is a bit blingy, especially with that beveling. You know, it really does kind of satisfy that, scratch that itch without costing Black Bay Monochrome money. So anyway, I'll do a quick wrist shot. Here we are on my 7.5-inch wrist. Pretty clean. A little small, but not too bad. It kind of fits. If you had a 6.5-inch wrist, it would fit you the way my Omega fits me. Again, imagine that on a Jubilee. Oof, that would be so cool. The only problem would be getting the Jubilee aftermarket bracelet to match the finish on the Seiko head, because this does have that Duratec coating on it. Makes it a little bit more titanium finishy, muted. But just an excellent watch. Great proportions. Great proportions. Anyway, I was starving for some content on this watch, and you probably were too, because there wasn't too much out there. I'm not a reviewer. I'm just an enthusiast, and I wanted to provide some input. Thanks for watching.